Hello. We're going to try to do a little bit more of this today. And we'll see how far we get. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it for long. We'll see. We're kind of entering the realm of stuff that I need to go back and finish. That I started. And we're going to be repeating some stuff that you might have seen if you were watching like a year and a half, 2 years ago. But we're going to come at it a little differently, I think, probably. Unless I am just doomed to repeat myself in an eternal loop from which there is no escape. But we'll find out if that is in fact the case. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'm just gonna hit continue. Age in each stat pool acts like a discount when using points from that pool. It grants free levels of effort or reduces the cost to activate abilities, just like in the RPG. Ah! Oh, hey. Okay. Shield's just a camouflage. Sarah could stumble on us at any moment. I've got some news for you. Oh no, I know for a fact things. Okay. Alright, never mind. So, I'm pretty sure everything was taken care of. I don't actually need to go to any of these platforms at this point to leave the area. I can't remember what any of the things were that I was taking care of, but I'm fairly certain I took care of them. I don't know. That's the, that's one of the problems here. So if we go back to load something, right, we can try to detective ourselves through. That's the only thing I'm a little concerned about. I'm like, did we do what we needed to do? I'm not sure. I think we did. It's like we went back and we picked up the various things we need, you know, Necropolis and the Endless Gate and all that stuff, before we ended up. I'm sure we still did all of that, didn't we? Who knows? Alright. Just gonna try to get through. Just gonna try to get through. I've forgotten who all of these people are. But we don't, I think, especially have to, What? He's saying stuff. I'm not sure what he's saying. Hang on. I wonder if is the sound of the game all right? Is it audible? Do we need it to be louder? That's a question. Was there something we needed to do up here that we never finished doing? I think we did what we needed to do.
Go.
I'm not sure. There's like a piece in the back of my brain where I'm like, wasn't there a thing here? Approaching the obelisk, you still can't shake the feeling it's much taller than it appears. Touch it again. You return to the vision of the unsatisfactory meal. Your future self is poking a stale piece of bread into the stew, perhaps hoping to salvage the meal. See yourself bundled in blankets, snoring loud enough to tear holes in the sky. Also, you're drooling. Okay. Oh, that's right. These are you get visions of the future that are absolutely useless. you get slice of life visions of the future. Nothing that's actually of use. But anyway.
All right.
Yeah, I guess we're just going to barrel through this, and by barrel through this, I mean get horribly knocked over by it, but we'll see. I think we talked to Adiris, we go into the, if I remember this correctly, we talked to Adiris, we go into the mirror, to look for something. Mazzof, possibly? And we do that, and then we come back out, and then we have fun with the sorrow. Oh, no, no, no. Even between then and here, we have to deal with... Oh, yeah. Have to deal with the Changing God. There's a lot of stuff. Alright. Let's do some stuff. I'm just going to try to remind myself of a thing. The first cast off. Oh. I think that territory is up there. I don't know what's happening. Speaking of visions, I was just musing to myself earlier about what sort of visions recommend you. Oh, I'm speaking to someone in chat right now, for those of you looking at this later. And they're saying, speaking of visions, I was just musing to myself earlier about what sort of visions Rick Morale might receive if Anino ever actually rolled a crit on a perception check. That would assume that he ever actually rolls a perception check. He's very much into just doing it passively. So, this is, I feel, going to be one of the great unanswered questions of the universe. We'll see, maybe. Just trying to think if there's anything here that I feel like we need to know. This is all stuff that we read before and is in previous installations of this. History of the Changing God. Begin the recitation again, very well. You save the city of Sagas Cliffs from the Tabat, as it was after their siege that he focused so heavily on mental transference techniques. Though we do not know why, he was successful in his attempts, obviously, and this is the first record we have of the sorrow in modern times. She taps her fingers on her lips. He traveled to another world or dimension, and I have heard that this is where the first was born. His studies in the tides ran deep. He claimed to have spent lifetimes exploring them, and when he had mastered them, he destroyed the Tabat utterly. He brought the Order of Truth to Sagas Cliffs and sought to keep knowledge alive by creating the Dendra Uhur. His life has been about the creation or preservation of wisdom. She shakes her head. But to what end? There seems to be no pattern or goal. He does not seem to build for humanity, but for his own legacy. Which, after what we learned last time, I'm pretty sure that's the case. Should we emulate this? God, no. Other cast-offs. The tides. I've studied them. What else can I do when I'm not trying to keep the peace here? The first and our sire used Mielavest as their sanctuary, after all. Though the remaining notes are cryptic or piecemeal, I have learned enough to believe that it is our use of the tides that draws the sorrow to us. Each of us has access to a broader tidal power, the tidal surges, as you have no doubt discovered, but I choose not to use mine, and I have seen no sign of the sorrow. And of course he's trying to figure out a way to use the tides without the sorrow happening, which is, oh, don't pay a price for your power, no. I recognize that this is not a logical conclusion. The sorrows might yet hunt me for reasons unknown, but I am content in knowing that at least I harm no others with my body. The smile flickers. Melmoth knows more, as he is eager to tell us at every opportunity. He has made certain to use every tool at his disposal in an effort to preserve and understand our lives, but I do not believe that he has made an extensive study of the sorrow's motivations. I'm not going to go down every branch on this conversation tree. I'm just trying to tap my own memory and try to think. It's like, what am I doing? Tell me where Mazzof is again. Last anyone heard of him, he was in the menagerie of Mracholios. But that was some time ago. No one knows what became of him since. Okay. Alright, I am ready to talk to Mazzof. Show me the Mirrorcaster. You have proven to me I can trust you. Only remember what you have learned in these tasks. Be gentle with Zirian. You are violating his mind. Be true to his path. Find out what you need, and return without causing him harm. You have a duty to preserve his life as he intended it, if at all possible. Right. She presses the box into your hands. Tidal energy swirls around it, drawing you in like a maelstrom. You focus on it, opening your innermost eye, and you are torn from your body. Ah! Okay. Should we have checked our inventory before we started this? Should we have looked to see what they can do? Should we have prepared? Should we have thought about things mechanically? Who knows? Alright, let's keep going. When you first open your eyes, there's only a ruddy glow and frightening shapes and shadows around you. The air is hot and stifling. As your eyes adjust, you realize you're outside, but the sky is darkened by clouds of pitch. The ruddy glow comes from lava flows as they trundle down distant mountains into the volcanic fields all around you. Sharp towers pierce the sky, tapered like the bones of a rib cage. Indeed, they look like bones in every way, as does the ground beneath you. You appear to be standing on the spine of an enormous beast. The bottom of its jaw can be seen far in the distance, half buried beneath a layer of pooled lava. Most of the bone towers look identical, but one shines from the inside with an odd blue light. The top of the glowing tower has been snapped off, and what looks like a transport hovers next to its peak. It's your transport. You are sent here to find something. Twisted bridges connect the spine to the volcanic fields around you. In one direction lie enormous formations of obsidian, arches, spires, a wall. In the other direction, a narrow pass is carved into the mountain face. The field leading to the canyon is illuminated by hundreds of glowing lights. You know this body wasn't sent to find Mazzof, but Adiris said he'd appear. Perhaps following through events will lead to him. I've had an idea. It's a terrible idea, but an idea nonetheless. That I already mentioned earlier that I'm not going to be shy about looking through walkthroughs at this point because I just want to get through this now, if I need to. But I'm not going to try to do it. But I've done this bit before also, so I'm not as concerned. That said, I do want to see sort of the what to do during this thing in case there are bits that I need to pick up. And if your party is not in top condition, it would also be a good moment to rest. I guess we'll find out. Let's see. During the scene, you can, of course, pick additional options concerning exploration and skills, but focusing on contacting Mazzof as fast as possible. Okay. That's all. Alright. Alright, we'll do that. We'll do that. Explore the towers. I want to explore the towers. I remember who you are. You are in the body of Zirian Daywalker, a Jack who can speak with the dead. Indeed, now that you remember that, you can feel the dead all around you. You can hear them. It takes little effort to know the stories of those who died here. You may even be able to imbue some of your life force into their corpses. Zirian is wearing a black, form-fitting suit that keeps off the worst of the heat. He carries a whip and various necromantic ornaments. Zirian was on a task for someone called the word that many people pronounce differently. I think I commented on that when I went through this before. Chimera, Chimera. My mother used to pronounce it Chimera. Patchwork thingy. He was sent here to find some kind of sphere. Or transforming thingy. I forget. Could be both. Could be neither. Explore the towers. Yeah, I'm not going to spend anything on this. I'm just going to look. Critical success, apparently. You search through tower after tower. Some of the chambers you come to are filled with piles of dead relics and broken ciphers, but nothing of value. Finally, you come across something promising. You find a staff made of some prior world metal. It's cool to the touch, unusual given the extreme temperature of the air itself, and burn marks blacken one end. Very likely this was used as a weapon. It may work again, but probably only once. You take the staff with you. Learn more about the area of the spine. You're in a place called the Fields of Osfagen, and many have lived and died here, though it seems a terrible place to live. Scavengers from Sega's cliffs have been through here in recent centuries, seeking treasures of the past. Before that, it was mutants fleeing revolution after a bloody revolution in a place called Haref. Before that, refugees from a village called Shuena. Before that, the Osphagans themselves, or Osphagans, depending on which side of the room you're standing. You see a glimmer of a powerful artifact. Hundreds of years ago, there was a battle here. Many died. 2 people, a middle-aged woman and a teenage girl, fought over a copper sphere at the top of the glowing bone tower. Perhaps that copper sphere is what you were sent here to find. I already have a copper sphere, I think. Obviously, we want to explore, because... Obviously, I want to explore, I should say. I'm pretty sure I did that a while ago. I can't stop myself. The mountain pass is still some distance away, but you're close enough to see there's way too much rubble at the bottom to make your way through. You spread out. In front of the cliffs is a great volcanic plain. Across the entire expanse are hundreds and hundreds of creatures lit with a dim glow that has nothing to do with the magma. You know these creatures are called fire wights. At the moment, they seem to be ignoring you. You could just go right back and check out the obsidian formations. Crossing the volcanic plains, you arrive at the obsidian formations. Massive structures of cooled, shining rock leap from the ground, curling into impossible shapes. An enormous black wall rings most of the formations, rising 100 meters out of the ground in places. The obsidian formations are dark, quiet, and desolate. A hot wind blows from magma flows farther off. But here nothing flows and nothing lives. In the distance you can see the spine and bone towers, and in the other direction the plains atop a sheer cliff face with a mountain pass carved in between. Sure, let's use the dead. The obsidian formations did not form naturally. Creatures made of pure light, called fire wights, formed these structures out of hot, flowing magma, then supercooled them into the shapes they are in now. The wights were trying to get at something or someone. You see a pair of figures atop a small, flying platform. One of them holds a copper sphere that glows with a golden light. The wights tried to trap them here with their wall, but they escaped and flew toward the mountain pass. Ah! Another event occurred here. The fire wights have killed many people over hundreds, even thousands of years. These deaths culminated in the creation of something called a Gemorn. Gemorn? Gemorrn. Is it Gemorm or Gif? A creature of pure rage, the Gemorm has since wandered these volcanic fields with an insatiable lust for revenge, mostly against the wights that created it. See, I remember doing stuff at the mountain pass, and then the fire wights attacking and having to run from them. But part of this is doing what he would do, right? Sure. We've got 80%. I'm not spending anything on this. Success. You stay near them, watching for a long time. At first they seem to be just wandering without rhyme or reason, but then you realize the shifts you feel in the air temperature are not random nor natural. The whites themselves are causing them. Indeed, once you figure this out, you can see how they use the temperature of the air as a kind of communication between each other. Maybe you could use this information to slip past them. Use your connection to the dead to learn more about this location. You see a group of people in tattered clothing march through the pass and out of these fields. They are terrified, having lost many of their number to the whites. You see two figures riding a small platform, almost like a shield. Suddenly the platform teeters and the figures fall. You can see the spot where the shield fell, and though the bodies are no longer there, you can feel their presence very strongly. And there, a short distance away, you can see where one of the figures dropped what looks like a copper sphere. See, I think I have this sphere in the present. And I think it is used for certain things that perhaps will become clear later, or it could just be an optional thing. But I worry that if I don't go and get this now, I won't have it in the future. If that makes sense. So we have some more options. Wait, get the shield. Almost like a shield, the flying platform. Ah. Explore carefully. Attack the whites with your whip. Attack the whites with the staff you found in the towers. Use your connections to the dead to speak to those that died here. Get the sphere. Use your connection to the dead to animate a corpse and have the corpse get the sphere for you. That wouldn't... Yeah, there's a temperature thing, right? Return to the spine. Didn't we just use the connection with the dead to speak to those that died here? I don't know. We can try that. Though there are no bodies on the surface, you can feel the dead beneath the rock, preserved by magma that has flowed over the spot over the centuries. One is a middle-aged woman named Amma. The other is a girl, but she is strangely silent. Even with your strange powers, there is nothing to speak with. Oh hey, hey, there are bots in chat. They're asking if I want to become famous. Can we? I feel as though they are not welcome. All right. And report. I think this is a bot. They're offering to become famous. And submit. There we go. They're everywhere. Sorry, I'm just taking care of the bots real quick. Submit report lock. Okay. All right. And yeah, if you double team, yeah, if you've as it happens, I have a moderator also in chat who may also be doing the same thing. If you're ready, I'm going to go ahead and get them out of this particular thing. Also, if you're done doing your own stuff with them, whatever you wanted to do, I'm going to press this button. All right. They have been banned. Excellent. Okay. All right. I was just looking at that. I was like, what's going on? Okay. All right. This slight divergence in reality was brought to you by robots. Okay. There's a middle-aged woman named Amma. The other is a girl. She is strangely silent. Even with your strange powers, there is nothing there to speak with. Peace, says Amma. Is it better? Better, yes. Better oblivion. Who are you? Amma? The disembodied voice sounds like it's calling Amma rather than naming herself. No, not Amma. Shelled. Cast away. Eaten and alive and eaten again. Not Amma. Food for whites. What happened to you? Buried to death. Before that lived. Before that died. Before that lived and died and lived. And so many cycles. So many deaths. The air shivers. Her tone drops dangerously low. Before that, someone else. Awoke and remembered. A fight. A girl. Erlimnion. Although you cannot see Amma, her presence moves through you, turns your head. You see in the fields in the distance what she is talking about. The Erlimnion. A sphere of burnished metal lying in the rock. And you know this is what you were sent here to find. Why can't I speak with the girl? Gone, gone, but not gone. You shudder. But it's not you who is shuddering. She woke something, vengeance, though no vengeance is in her. You feel Amma's presence looking off toward the obsidian formations. There's something glowing and moving over there. Okay, let her return to her peace. We're going to do the thing where we use your connection to the dead to animate a corpse and have the corpse get the sphere for you. I don't think I did this before, because I was like, no, don't use necromancy. But I'm going to use necromancy. Reaching into the earth, you find the body called Amma. By the way, one more thing we just need to do real quick. Sorry you're terribly restless. Here, let's help you on your mission. Oh my god. Reaching into the earth, you find the body called Amma and summon her forth. With uncanny strength, she crawls out from the cooled rock. Though her skin is charred and rotting, a cast-off tattoo is clearly visible on her head. That's what I figured. You command her to collect the sphere, but Amma's body only makes it a short way before the whites attack her. Their hands reach inside her, consuming what little life force you imbued her with. As they do so, the air grows intensely cold. Interesting. It's that life force thing, right? I could try doing that again. It says. Yeah, sure, why not? Again, Amma's body crawls out from the cold rock, and again the whites devour her life force. Looks like you'll need something more to get past the whites. Explore the fields carefully. Alright. You search for a time, but there's very little out here in the fields. You find some kind of large shield embedded in the molten rock nearby. You also feel rather than see the strong presence of death here. You try to search further, but a group of fire whites crowds in and threatens you. It's going to be difficult to get past them. Okay. We're going to get the sphere. And then we're going to... I was curious about getting the shield. We can try that. Now that you know the whites communicate through temperature variation, you might be able to avoid their attention by feel better than sight, assuming you can figure out what the different temperatures mean. The sphere is about 300 meters away, and the whites shift around constantly. It's going to be tricky to get close. Okay. Yeah, the air got colder when they pulled out that life force, when they attacked, right? Communicate through temperature variation. Move closer to the sphere, staying where the air is cool. Move closer to the sphere, staying where the air is warm. This would make more sense, as we have a body. Move closer to the sphere, trying to stay where the temperature ripples between hot and cold. Did anyone see that movie Sneakers a long time ago? There was a temperature detection thing, and they had to raise the... And they were going to go in, and Robert Redford was going to go in and steal something, but they had to raise the temperature in the room to 98.6 degrees so he could go in and get the thing. It was interesting. It was also a long time ago. My thought is, having seen that movie, move close to the sphere, staying where the air is warm. Because body heat. Using the temperature of the air to feel where their attention might be, you close the distance to the sphere by about 100 meters. The white don't seem to notice you. Ah. So theoretically, we should stay where the air is warm. We should continue that if they don't seem to notice. You close the distance by another 100 meters. Whites still don't notice you. Okay. We'll try that again. You close the distance by another 100 meters. The whites still don't notice you. Close enough. You dive forward, grabbing the sphere and tumbling away before the whites can stop you. The air suddenly becomes a sickening pattern of intense cold and heat. You have escaped the whites' attention so far, but they're paying attention to you now. Several of them attack you with outstretched hands. Ah, okay. So, we could attempt to attack the whites with the staff, which would be a thing. We can run to the spine. We can run to the obsidian formations. I think running to the spine is what we want to do. Attacking the whites with the whip is probably not going to do anything. You run to the spine. The air grows colder as the whites close in. You bolt in the opposite direction. They stay on your tail all the way to the bridge and onto the spine itself. So you duck into the glowing tower, heading toward the transport. As soon as you enter the tower, the air grows warm again. The whites will not enter the tower. After a while, they leave, returning to the fields they came from. Still, we did not grab the shield, so we did not get a flying thing to stand on. But that's okay. We have a transport. You're at the top of the broken bone tower. Jagged bone walls act as a kind of parapet. From here, you can see the fields of Osophagan even better. I think when I did this the first time, I messed around there longer, and then there was like some beast or something that showed up. I can't remember. It's been too long. Or I could be conjuring that in my brain. I'm not sure. Anyway, the spine below you, the obsidian formations in one direction, and the glowing fields in front of the mountain pass in the other. I'm going to run out of time. Actually, the thing is, I remembered I actually have a thing I need to do later tonight, and I'm probably going to run out of time before we get all the way through this if I keep delaying the way that I do, except that would require me to have a different brain, so I don't know. All right, we'll see how this goes. Floating just next to the tower is a hovering pod made of azure steel. A ramp leads from the parapet into the transport. Okay. Return to the... No. I'm not returning to the spine. I'm going to enter the transport now. You step aboard. The transport does not appear to have been made with adult humans in mind. There is only room enough for you to lay down, and even then you have to roll on your side and bend in your legs slightly. As soon as you have done so, the ramp recedes and the doorway disappears. Your stomach lurches as the transport takes to the sky. At first you try to peer out of the tiny portholes, but all you see is pitch black, presumably the volcano's black clouds. Eventually they are replaced by the black of a starry sky. You try to see the land below, but it's impossible in the cramped space. Hours pass. Finally the transport slows, its humming ceases, and the door reappears. Ah! You step out of the transport, stretching painfully. You're in a strange cavern. Artifacts are strewn everywhere, in various stages of repair or experimentation. One wall is covered by a network of displays, showing people in scenes that mean nothing to you. In the center of the room is an enormous cage made from steel tendrils that twist together at the top. The cage glows for a moment, and a figure walks out. He wears a thick cloak, but his face is most strange. It shifts and blurs, changing its features constantly. You get the impression you are seeing a person, but you can't define what that person looks like at all. His name comes to your mind immediately. The Chimera. Or the Chimera. Or the Chimera, depending on which side of the room you're standing. I'm going to check this thing again. Just focus on contacting Mazzof. It doesn't really care. Okay, alright. This is very vague. The thing is very vague. Alright. Do that again. Alright. Continue. Took you long enough. The Chimera's voice is metallic and artificial, shifting as often as the features of his face. His expressions slide and change, but all of them are frowning as he reaches forward and takes the sphere from you. With your unique gifts, I thought finding a dead relic would come easier. The Chimera sets the Erlimnion on a nearby table with a clunk. He immediately picks up a variety of scanning tools, one after the other, probing the Erlemion and its secrets. He seems to have forgotten about you. You look around the cavern, but there are no entrances or exits, nowhere this Mazzof could be, except for the cage. Examine the cage to figure out how it works. You take 2 steps toward the cage, but the moment you reach your hand toward it, the Chimera stops you with a bark. What do you think you're doing? Your mission is complete. I have no purpose for you here. Deception. I want to speak with Mazzof about that mission. Deception or persuasion? 80%. Sure. Success! Mazzof. Chimera's altering voice slips from baritone to falsetto in a rapid series of notes. A dozen different eyes narrow with suspicion. I'm not sure that Tinkerer could tell you anything useful, but I can think of no reason to deny you. The Chimera turns and slides a hand along one of the metal tendrils. Although no discernible interface appears, he presses his finger against the metal twice, and the cage begins to glow. The Chimera. The person turns his attention back to the sphere, indicating you should enter the cage with a dismissive wave. Two of the metal tendrils become a kind of doorway. On the other side, Mazzof squats on some sandy... Oh, look, there he is. He's not squatting, he's standing. Squats on some sandy alien shore. Stars twinkle in the sky behind him, but they are no stars you recognize. He picks up his head as though he heard something, and he turns around to face you. One of his eye sockets is artificial, alternately projecting a human eye, a snake's eye, and something even more alien in the time he looks you over. He looks like a shipwreck survivor, bare-chested, ragged pants, ragged beard. If so, he's better fed than you'd expect. Zirian, he says, his human eye squinting on the light. What the else do you want? He peers forward as though trying to see into the cavern. First off, I want to apologize for erasing your memory. No, wait, that's someone else. I'm not really Zirian. I'm a new cast off using Miracast to protect myself. I was told you could fix the resonance chamber. Really? Really? Is that a thing we're going to just say to him? No, it's just, yeah. It's very, the thing is very, doesn't tell us much about how to talk to myself. That's okay. Yeah, let's just say the resonance chamber has been smashed. I need to know how to fix it. We could say that. Not really, Zarian. I'm a new cast-off, using your cast to protect myself. I was told you could fix the resonance chamber. He puts a hand to his chin, all anger and suspicion gone in the face of a puzzle. Well, it ain't that hard if you know the basics. The chamber is crystal, yeah? So it's grown, not built. So long as the chamber's core is intact, it should know how to grow itself. You just need a catalyst to... He trails off and looks at you and you. Why do you want to know this? The resonance chamber is only good for... He gives you an angry look. Who sent you? Why are you after this? I'm trying to stop the sorrow from hunting us. The specter, a being in my head, he told me if I fix it, I could stop the sorrow from hunting us down. Don't worry about that, just answer the question. I'm gonna tell him the truth here and just see what happens. Are you following a guide? Yeah, kind of. At this point, I have a thing pulled up that's very vague. But the reason I'm looking at it right now is I've actually gone through this before, and I'm just checking to see if I missed anything. That's the main reason. But I also have it up because this has been a very long time, and I'm picking it back up after quite a while, and I want to finish it sometime before I die, if at all possible. We'll see. But and yet somehow I'm going off on these wild fancies where I'm going to try telling him the truth here and see what happens. The Mazzof barks a short, bitter laugh. I don't doubt it would stop the sorrow and a great many other things. I don't know how, but the changing god's trying to use you. If that chamber's fixed, nobody benefits but him. You can't trust a damn word that bastard says. How would the resonance chamber benefit the changing god? The resonance chamber's only good for one thing, he holds up a finger, and that's snuffing us out. The changing god plans to use it to merge all of us, every cast-off that still lives, back into his body. That's his plan for stopping the sorrow. He puts a grease-stained hand on your shoulder. Look, I don't know who you are, or what your part is in this, but you cannot let him activate that chamber. You need... He glances over your shoulder at something in the cavern, though when you turn, you see nothing there. The first is alive, he whispers, drawing your attention back to him. And she's got her own plan for the chamber, one that won't kill us all. Our sire has a new body that he plans to use as a catalyst for the chamber, but I know which body that is. It's the one we're currently it's the last cast-off's body. But the first has a better plan, something that won't snuff out every last one of us. Look for her in the bloom, he says grimly. Just make sure you don't... Before he can finish, you feel a wrenching twist in the center of your body, like your heart is being wrung dry. Your vision tunnels back, black, and you feel as though your body were being sucked through a steel pipe. You're being pulled out of the mirror, but it's far more painful than it ever was before. Then Mazzof, the cave, and everything else disappears. Much better context, I think, this time around, having dealt with those sorrow fragments before doing this. It tells me that, yeah, Mazzof has plenty to be upset about with respect to the changing god, and the changing god wants to use us, the last cast-off, as the catalyst to fix the chamber, and yeah.
I'm ready to learn something new.
All right. I have 12 minutes to 6. I don't know if I'm going to have time. We'll see how this goes. Yeah. Hi, Spectre. Quest complete. You plant your hand on the icy floor and push, staggering up to your feet. Every inch of your body aches, as though you've been crushed in a massive hand. The Spectre stands before you, impassive. It may be your imagination, but he seems more solid than before. Really? Who knows? Continue. A phantom tendril, tendril, coils around your forehead, cool and soothing. You find yourself staring at your hand, your solid real hand. Across from you, the Spectre is still transparent. The tendril tightens once, as if in confirmation or warning. The sensation is gone. You are alone here with the Spectre once more. He is waiting for you to speak, frowning now. Collect your thoughts. Or, the changing god wants to destroy us. Nope, just going to collect my thoughts. Spectre, you concentrate, struggling to gather your thoughts, but they whirl through your head like hot sand. The Spectre sighs, seeming less solid now than he was a moment ago. We need to talk, he says. You barely hear him through the pain. But this is your mind, honed in your duel against malaise, sharpened to a glittering edge. You inhale. Clear the pain from your limbs and gather your thoughts to you. Focusing, you open your eyes. The Spectre, now slightly transparent, is speaking again. I have something I've been meaning to tell you. You see, I haven't been completely honest with you. I'm not part of you. You're part of me. I created you. I'm the changing god. No, I am! I keep wondering how if I ever play out this delusion, what will happen, but... is that why I couldn't read your thoughts? You hid them somehow? You said you were thought, that I couldn't read you because you were like most things in here. I've been wondering where you were. You shouldn't have lied to me. Here, he says simply, his outline solidifying. Here all along. Now, I know this is a lot to take in. It means this body of yours is actually mine. I lived in it for years, and now that we know the first is still alive, I need it back. And what would happen to me? A good question, he says. He seems taller than he did a moment before. Once you give me my body back, your thoughts would be pushed to the back of my mind. It would be frightening for a moment. Disorienting, maybe, but not painful. And then our thoughts would merge. You'd become a part of me again. He spreads his hands. And that's it. Now, give me my body back. Well, very well, it's yours. No. No, this is my body, not yours. I knew you'd say that, but let's get this straight. I lived in this body. I made it for a purpose. And now you say your wisp of a life outweighs my centuries of experience? Or maybe you think my first cast-off has a better way. Some magical solution to live out your false existence without price? I promise you, she has no such thing. She has always only killed to get what she wants. Her self-interest is just as strong as yours and mine. The only difference between the three of us is that I am real. I wonder if surrendering it just a bad end. Apparently it is. I have not seen it, but I have heard that it just ends the game. You wouldn't exist if it weren't for me. You don't exist apart from me. Everything you are is a byproduct of my skills, my intellect, my experiences. And now that I have the chance to stop the sorrow and save us all, you refuse me? Who in the hells are you? The changing God. The audacity. The new owner of this body. Yeah, 2, you wanted me to select option 2 and say the changing God? I've thought about it. I will admit. But just after what we learned about... I don't think I'd even want to be associated with that name after learning all the things that he did. It was never yours to take, the Spectre says, grimacing. No. Let me tell you what you are. You're an accident of fate, a parasite in the mind I built. You are a child. I don't want to destroy you, but I will if I must. Give me control. Never! Then I'll take it, the Spectre says and spreads his arms. Tidal energy pours from the air around you, flowing into the Spectre. The ground itself slips around your feet, holding you in place. You feel your grip on your body, your mind slipping by finger lengths. You are diminishing. He is winning. You search your mind, your hard-earned memories for something that will loosen his hold on you. There are several things we have here. Like, we could just unleash the words of Kra. Which we didn't try before. Sure, let's do that. Drawing breath, you shout the sharp, barbed words that once destroyed the people of ancient Kra. They tear themselves from you and lunge at the Spectre, closing over his mind like a mouthful of yellow, jagged teeth. He staggers, hissing, then plunges his hands into his head. One by one, the Spectre pulls the words out and crushes them in his now fading fists. His outline blurs, becoming hazier. I found the Book of Singing Thorns and read the inscription. You've fallen far from where you began. The Spectre looks briefly surprised, and color bleeds from his flickering frame. He growls under his breath. I've never forgotten what happened to her, not once. He is nearly transparent now, nearly gone. Your machines have driven women in Sagus mad. What makes you think you deserve to return? The Spectre winces as if you had struck him and mutters something under his breath. It's big KOTOR vibes now that I'm thinking about this game again. I've never actually played Knights of the Old Republic, but I've heard it mentioned many a time. With a shuddering gasp, he stumbles backwards, fading in and out of visibility. The pressure on your mind dwindles and ends. Fine, he says, eyeing you with cool contempt. If you're so intent on stopping the sorrow on your own, have at it. Let me see how you handle what's in store without my help, my guidance. Then he fades completely, but speaks again. His voice is coming from all around you, from every corner of your mind. He's not gone, only hidden himself in your mind. I have wasted my time trying to reason with you. That won't happen again. Okay. Got 5 minutes to 6. Well, here we go. Oh, we're back in the thing. XP! As the portal closes behind you, something feels off. It only takes you a second to realize. The Spectre is gone. It is quieter now in the calm of your mind. But he's not truly gone, is he? You can still feel him out there, watching, waiting, perhaps, for a moment of weakness in which to strike. Okay, and that takes us back to the Sorrow's Fathom. We already beat them up. Daughter's Fathom, Clock Fathom. Clock Fathom, where there's nothing but a staircase they very inconsiderately left there. Daughter's Fathom, person in a chamber. You said you don't know how well it holds up gameplay-wise. They're speaking of KOTOR, but I recommend it if you get the chance. I mean, maybe one day if I have time. I've got a huge freaking list of games I need to get to, but I might at some point. To the Ninth World. I'm just going to head back out, I think, to the Ninth World. But wait a minute. We were at a point I think I can actually save the game, maybe.
All right.
And it's going to be very important to do so. Hi, All
right.
Have I learned enough yet? Can you tell me anything else about what you are? The hand cupped around the candle flame. Goodbye. Good talk. Good talk.
Ready.
Okay. Let me see here. Alright. I want to try and get through this. I'm gonna check something. Ah! Yay, shifting purple. I'm gonna check something real quick. The last bit that I've been through. Alright. I'm just going to check this out because the sanctuary is going to be hopping a bit once we get back. And yeah. Okay. There are a lot of steps here that I'm going to need to engage in. That's pretty much just what I was thinking I was going to need to do. There are a lot of things here. Tell you what, you know what? Yeah, I can already tell that with my brain, with my brain being the way it is, that it's going to take me a little while to get through the next bit. And I need to actually prep for a thing, as we've hit 6 o'clock, unfortunately. And I'm going to need to dive off. So I think we're going to go ahead and call it here. I wonder if I can show you, however, I've saved the game. I wonder if I can show you a little taste of what it is that we're about to get into.
Yes.
Just before we do that. Just so you'll see what it is I'm talking about. And I'll do this again when I come back next time. Hey, look at that! Yeah. Not quite as happy as we left it. Your eyes snap open, and at first you fear you've fallen deeper into the labyrinth. Another fathom. Flames rake the ground around you, and the bedrock buckling under the heat. The image of Adiris resolves as your vision adjusts to the searing light. Her composure is beginning to crack. You can see the fear in her eyes, held in check only by your iron will. You're awake! Quickly now! Well, you were inside the mirror. Gods! The shields have fallen! The sorrow is breaking into the sanctuary! She scans the area. It's destroying our home. Others are trying to hold it back, but tell me first. Did you find what you were looking for? So yes and no. Mazzof says the resonance chamber will destroy us all if the changing god activates it. I found some hope. The first is still alive. She's in hiding in the bloom. I think this is the most important piece of information to get out. I'm probably going to do that again next time. Shields. But how? No, that's not important now. What's important is you find her. That's the only way. She's the only one who will help us against the sorrow. Or our sire has shut him away from us, and we can't count on him for help. Gold tide and red tide was raised when I did that. Now we must deal with the situation at hand. A few have already escaped, but most are trapped within the rubble and flames, some too terrified to move. You must get to the teleportation platform and flee. Save as many as you can on your way. And although the dome no longer encircles our sanctuary, the generators may hold enough power to slow the sorrow's progress. They can be activated by placing your palm here and whistling this tune. Her dry lips rasp a 5-note decant, that you commit to memory. She plants a kiss on your cheek. Good luck, brother. Let's make sure as many survive as possible. She runs off, her voice raised in command, as if the quiet matron of Mila Vest had never existed. Oh, that old tune. I know that tune. Okay. Okay. Well, the thing being, though, I do have to get going. So, we're going to go ahead and call it there. And it's mostly just the thing I got to do is mostly I got to just, it's really, the prep is mostly just me doing some, doing basic stuff around the apartment before I have to get into a phone call that may last for quite a while. Real life. You remember real life? I seem to remember sometime before March there was real life. It's March now, so it was only like less than a month ago, right? I don't know. It feels longer for some reason. It's been about 20 years since last March. It has always been March. But I digress. Anyway. But thank you. Yes, no, I thank you very much for watching. I very much appreciate it. Real life does always intrude at the least appropriate times. But I'm going to continue with this soon. Again, I did this last week, so probably by next Friday, probably I'll do this again. Just depends on number of factors. I generally do this randomly if I'm feeling it. In the meantime, I've got various other things that I do. Tomorrow, Saturday evening, I'm going to be over playing tabletop RPGs. I'm going to be over on Weave the Tale, playing in their Fate of Cthulhu campaign, which is they're doing. It's called The Return of Carcosa, and that's been a lot of fun so far. We're about a quarter of the way through it, I think. Possibly a fifth of the way through it. And then on Sundays, generally we have on this channel, on Sunday afternoons we have Dark Matter, the Mage Hand Press Dark Matter, not the Alternity Dark Matter. Fantasy stuff in space. That's not happening this Sunday, but it will be happening 1 week hence from Sunday, I believe. I see you're saying Carcosa was a nice place, if memory serves. Carcosa is, interesting to visit, but I really wouldn't want to live there. That's all I can say about it. But then on Tuesday nights on this channel, I am running a short campaign of Urban Shadows that is set in present-day Rome, Italy. So it's a lot of fun, just sort of mixing. I started to get a little more explicit last time with the mixing of regular urban fantasy tropes with Roman gods. That happened a little bit last time. Would you prefer Sarnath? I don't know. It's really a question of what mind-bending reality does one wish to visit at any given moment. There's so many to choose from. So we'll be doing Urban Shadows on Tuesday. You're enjoying the Urban Shadows? Thank you. I appreciate that. Unstable Days. No, that's I'm enjoying it a lot myself. We are somewhere in the neighborhood of approaching halfway through that the short campaign, I think, and I'm just as more things unfold and I see where they go with where they want to go with different things, I can kind of see sort of which things to lean on, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. But in the meantime, we have quite a few folks hanging out here, so I think I'm going to do a raid on somebody. Let's see. Happy Capster, it looks like, is playing Dark Souls at the moment, which is a game that I have heard is very good, but I have not, in fact, played it. I have played a game that is an RPG based somewhat on it before, so I am thinking we will probably go over and say hello to them, so feel free to hang on and say hi to them along with those of us who go there. But in the meantime, folks, do take care, and I will see you all of a sudden. Thanks for watching.